Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. If you work with beads, you've probably come across patterns like this before. It's a Peyote Bead pattern printed from BeadTool software. And I can confidently say that if you've ever purchased a bead pattern on Etsy, it likely looked something like this. I use this type of pattern too, but I like to add my own touch, so if you buy one of my patterns from Etsy, you will also get a bonus PDF with extra details about the pattern, the beads, and other useful information. I create that because BeadTool doesn't have this feature. I put in the extra effort to make it more valuable for you. Now, once you have a pattern like this, how do you read it? Let me walk you through it step by step. On the first page, you will find the pattern name and the bead legend. The first line shows chart A, chart B, chart C, etc. These letters match the symbols in the pattern and tell you which bead color corresponds to which letter. The second line displays the bead code. This is super useful because when you are shopping for beads online, you can search for them using this exact code. It's the manufacturer's code, and most sellers list beads this way on their websites. For example, here's DB2387. The DB stands for Delica beads, and the number refers to the specific color. If this were a Toho round, instead of DB, you will see TR followed by the color number. I also added a row with the color name, which usually isn't included in most generated patterns. The last line shows the bead count, how many beads of each color are needed for the entire pattern. This helps you calculate how many beads you need to buy. In my patterns, I make it even easier by including the weight in grams and a real photo of what the beads look like in person. I also add details about the finished product size and other useful info to help you get started. The next page contains the bead chart, which is actual pattern itself. Some people work directly from this chart, but personally I prefer the word chart, which I will show you in a moment. Looking at this chart, you'll notice it's a classic peyote stitch where beads are added one by one. There are also variations like 2-drop, 3-drop peyote, where you pick up multiple beads at once. This pattern has 12 beads per row, meaning it's an even count peyote, so you won't need to do a special turn at the end of each odd row. But don't worry, if you purchase one of my patterns, I always include this information in the bonus PDF. At the start of the pattern, you will see row numbers. One important thing to note is that the first 2 rows are strung together. That means I need to thread all these beads first before I actually start beading. Here's how to count the rows correctly. The first row consists of A, C, A, F, G. The second row is the same as the first, A, C, A, F, G. The third row is where the actual peyote stitching begins. Is B, A, D, A, G. So when counting, don't make the mistake of thinking that the first full line in the pattern is row 1. It's actually just the foundation rows. The word chart makes it even easier to follow. The L and R in brackets indicate whether the stitch left or right. I personally ignore this because I turn my work sideways, so if you prefer a set direction, feel free to follow it, but it's not essential. The numbers in brackets tell you how many beads of a certain color to add. For example, here we start with 2G, 2F, and so on. This means I need to add 2G beads, then 2F beads, etc. The letters correspond to the bead colors in the legend. As I continue, I will follow the third row and start the actual peyote stitch. Since this is a standard peyote, I'll be picking up 1 bead at a time. For example, pick up 1B and stitch it. Pick up 1A and stitch it. Repeat until the row is done. If I were doing a 2-drop peyote, I'd pick up 2 beads at a time instead of 1. For 3-drop peyote, I'd pick up 3 beads at a time instead of 1. And I'd continue following the pattern line by line, page by page, until the design is complete. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I will do my best to help. If you are interested in this exact pattern, you can find it in my Etsy shop. I will include a link in the video description. And that's it for today. Happy beading! Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any new videos. Bye!